The stars had long since the stars had long since grown quiet. In the vastness of the galactic core, where the light of ancient suns shimmered like embers in a dying hearth, the Council of Elders convened. They gathered not in a chamber of stone or steel, but in the mindscape of the Nexus, a shared consciousness woven from thought, memory, and the accumulated wisdom of 1,000 civilizations. They were the last of the first ones, the Veyari whose crystalline minds could calculate the decay of atoms before they split. The Soluan who had mapped the entropy curves of entire galaxies. The Kethari who spoke in pulses of gravity and remembered the birth of time. They had seen it all, stars born and stars extinguished, empires rise, burn, and vanish into dust. They had long accepted the truth. The universe was dying, and all things within it would fade. Until now. A ripple disturbed the Nexus, a signal, primitive, loud, defiant, a broadcast from a blue world on the edge of a spiral arm. A species of bipedal mammals, barely a blink old in cosmic time, had ignited fire beneath metal and hurled themselves into the void. "They call it a rocket," murmured Elder Vale, his voice like the grinding of tectonic plates. "Chemical propulsion," scoffed the Soluan delegate. "Inefficient, crude. They will burn themselves before they reach the stars." "And yet," said the Cathari, "they try." The Nexus shifted. Images flickered. A launch pad trembling under the fury of ignition, a capsule breaching the sky, a human child pointing upward, eyes wide with wonder. "They are not the first to reach for the stars," Vale said, "but they are the first to do so with such recklessness." "Or desperation," offered another. "They do not wait for permission. They do not fear failure." "They do not understand the cost," Vale replied. "They will learn." But beneath the disdain there was something else, a tremor, a whisper, not fear exactly, but the uneasy recognition of something unfamiliar, unpredictability. The Elders had modeled every known species. They had predicted the rise and fall of empires with precision. But this species, Homo sapiens, refused to fit the pattern. They were chaotic, illogical. They laughed in the face of annihilation. They built machines to kill gods and poems to mourn ants. They were, in a word, dangerous. "They will burn out," said the Soluan. "Or they will burn everything else," said Vale. The Nexus dimmed. The Council withdrew, each returning to their distant worlds, their ancient halls, their dying stars. But the whisper remained. A new variable had entered the equation, a spark in the void, a species that did not fear the end. And somewhere, on a small blue planet, a rocket soared into the sky. The launch pad trembled beneath her boots. Commander Alira Reyes stood at the edge of the gantry, helmet tucked under one arm, watching the final checks unfold. The sky above was a bruised violet, the last light of dusk bleeding into the upper atmosphere. Below, the Dauntless stood tall, a spear of titanium and ceramic, its hull still steaming from cryogenic fueling. "You're really going through with this?" asked Lieutenant Voss, his voice crackling through her comms. Reyes turned, grinning. "You think I came all this way to chicken out now?" Voss shook his head, half in admiration, half in disbelief. "You're about to jump into a dimension we barely understand, in a ship held together by hope and duct tape." "Exactly," she said. "It's going to be glorious." The Dauntless was humanity's first hyperspace-capable vessel, if you could call it that. The drive was a Frankenstein's monster of alien math, stolen blueprints, and human improvisation. The Council of Elders had warned them. Hyperspace was not a playground. It was a storm of folded dimensions and gravitational chaos. No species had ever survived their first jump without guidance. Humanity had no guidance, just guts. Reyes climbed into the cockpit, strapping herself in. The interior was cramped, wires snaking like vines, panels blinking with barely contained anxiety. She ran through the checklist with practiced ease, her fingers dancing across the controls. Mission Control, this is Dauntless. Pre-jump sequence initiated. Copy that, Dauntless, came the reply. Godspeed, Commander. The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. Outside, the world held its breath. Across Earth, billions watched. In orbit, Thalri observers recorded every detail, their expressions unreadable. 3, 2, 1. The stars twisted. Reyes felt her stomach lurch as reality folded inward. The cockpit stretched, warped, then snapped back. For a moment, there was nothing. No sound, no light, no time. Just the sensation of falling through a scream. Then, impact. The Dauntless slammed back into real space, alarms blaring. Half the hull was scorched. The nav systems were fried, but they were alive. Status report, Reyes croaked, coughing smoke. Drive core stable. Hull integrity at 42%. We're in the Epsilon drift. We made it. She laughed. A wild, unhinged laugh that echoed through the broken ship. We made it, she whispered. We actually made it. Back on Earth, the signal came through. Cheers erupted. Strangers embraced in the streets. Children pointed at the stars. And in the Nexus, the elders watched in silence. They survived, said the Cathari. Impossible, muttered the Soluan. No, said Vale. Human.